Hi, Megs. Hi, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining and letting me know that you can see me. How fun. Okay, it's working. I'm getting better at doing the live stream, and I'm super excited to talk more today about body talk and somatic magic, how that's weaving into my practice and the transformation and changes I've seen in my own practice and how it affects clients. I showered and did my hair to get on live, so I appreciate you saying I look nice. Um, this work, I pursued body talk as a healing modality because I loved the work and what it was doing for me personally. I was pursuing embodiment. Like, I feel like years ago, I didn't even know what the term embodiment really meant. I was like, what does that mean to be in your body? And as somebody that dissociates really easily and getting out and checking out and leaving is my coping strategy, having capacity to stay in my body when things are uncomfortable was really intriguing to me. I knew that that was my growth edge. And getting into this work is about creating greater capacity, more tolerance for discomfort, learning how to bring curiosity into our experience and turn the lens inward to take a breath and really feel what's happening in the body. The body's always in the present moment, and our mind is often in the past or in the future. Especially when we're getting triggered, we're like remembering sometimes some of our core wounds from childhood, and the body's having like a full on reaction, like adrenaline, fight or flight, hot anger might be coming up, or wanting to hide and disappear or close down. And those are all conditioned responses. So when we take a beat and just create enough space to hold ourselves in those moments, then we have agency. Then we can choose to interrupt our old pattern of reacting and interacting with the world and really create a new pattern of being. And without taking that break, without taking that pause, we don't have the pattern interrupt. We don't have the choice. We're just acting out of ego, we're acting out of self protection, and we've lost ourselves to the habit of our personality. So, this work of being able to feel your feelings, like Shayna, my teacher, says, it's not about feeling good, it's about getting good at feeling. Learning, wow, that feelings are our life force, that that's our power, that that's our chi. And when we bypass the experience of feeling, we're throwing that opportunity away. We have like a window open, a portal into some of our strongest life force. And when we push it away or power through or displace it onto others, we've lost it, right? It's slipped through our fingers. We've lost the chance to harness that energy. And I think that's why I'm so curious about this work is how much more myself could I be? How much more power can I channel in my own authenticity by showing up for myself in those moments instead of the people pleaser trying to rush through and make it all smooth or acting out of an old wounded place that's all about self-protection, uh, taking care of ourselves, taking care of our others in these old patterns versus who we could be if we allow our whole selves to have the whole experience of this human phenomena. It's pretty meta, like these questions are really big and philosophical. And when we get into the 3D reality of the body, that's when we're bringing it into the physical plane. That's when it's in real time in the real world, and we have the opportunity to act in the world from a place of connection. That's when a theory becomes practice. That's when this philosophy really filters into magic, when we're seeing the effects of these practices in our real lives, in our relationships, and how we think about ourselves, how we interact with the world, then the work is producing change. You're creating new outcomes. And when you're pointing your ship in the direction of your desires for success, community, intimacy, authenticity, whatever those desires are, being more yourself, having more self agency to choose to again redirect your ship in that direction is how you get there. If we're just working out of knee jerk reactions, we're not on the path. Our compass is spinning, the needle is spinning, the boat is lost in the waves. It's when we're able to stay present with our desires and our intention and make choices for how we want to react and behave in the world that we can execute towards our goals and desires. So, this work, when I started it, I had no clue it was this big. When I started it, it was really coming from a place of wanting to get somatics and psychology together. It was my therapist that told me to get into somatics. I was so good at talking my way out of difficult feelings and tight spots that she offered somatics as a way to get closer to my own truth. That's when I got into Rosen body work and was driving to Santa Barbara every other week to do this really intense body work where I was totally humbled and brought to my knees. The amount of trauma integration and reckoning that Rosen brought me was really intense. And I wouldn't be where I am now if I hadn't done that. But body talk is a much lighter way of being as far as what I've experienced. And it begs this question like, what's beyond our trauma integration and our trauma work? Engaging in that work is for the goal, for the outcome of increased self awareness and a deeper sense of satisfaction and ultimately joy in our lives. Body talk, really, I think I came to that after having done so much trauma integration work. But when we get out of the head and we really drop into the body, we're closer to the source of our authenticity. The mind is playing games all the time. The ego's coming up with all kinds of mazes to get lost in, all kinds of diversions, all kinds of tactics to avoid challenging our sense of identity. And when we get into the body, the ego really doesn't have much option other than to show up and be present in the processing. We might have thoughts coming in, but as a facilitator, I'm always trying to bring clients back into what the experience is in the body. We're trying to find a way to communicate by using less words. I really ask people to use their bodies to show me what they're feeling and trying to get out of the story, out of the head, and into the body helps us get to that most authentic kernel of truth. When you're showing me what feels up for you, what feels alive, what feels like your edge with body language, my job is to not assign meaning and not interpret what you're trying to show me, but really just reflect back what I can observe objectively and check in with you about what you are trying to communicate. So, for example, I might be working with somebody and they go into a really tight facial expression. The eyebrows are knitted together. Maybe that upper lip is like I could say this looks like disgust, right? If you're like, ew, that looks like disgust. But my job isn't to say it looks like you're having a moment of disgust. It's to say, I see your brows knitted together. I see your face scrunched up. What is that you're trying to communicate right now with your body? And if somebody doesn't have the words, I might offer some choices. Like, is that disgust or fear, or is it distasteful, or is it a full body repulsion? I might offer some words, hopefully more than a couple, but just even a couple words will get people started on trying to figure out what it is that they're feeling. And this is the journey that makes it so much more valuable for the client versus me assigning meaning and then me trying to come up with like how that is part of their story or how that I think that makes sense. I keep asking questions, and the things that people tell me are things that I wouldn't have known. And that's the beauty of this work is like the client's in control. There's less pressure on me to make sense of what you're experiencing. The point is that you're having an experience. The point is that you're having feelings and that you're getting closer to understanding them yourself. When you understand them and you have somebody in this relationship of witness, it's speaking to a really primal human need to be witnessed, to be seen, to be understood. And when people finish our sentences for us, when people feel like they get us so much that we don't have to explain ourselves anymore, it's almost disempowering. It takes a little bit of that process away. And what I'm finding is it's so much more important for people to be able to find their own words, find their own process, and communicate it in a way that they feel like they have communicated it, not just that someone was able to read their mind. So it's really different from me doing energy work in the past and delivering energy work and chakra balancing on the table behind me, with the client being in this passive role of receiving and more creating this active environment for the client to be in the driver's seat, for the client to really show me what their process is. It's so much more insightful. I feel like I know I'm getting to know my clients in a way better than I had before, and that they are finding more empowerment and finding their own voice and their own mode and model of communication. So I can't say enough good things about the work. Somatic Magic has brought me so much more satisfaction in working with clients, and I am getting so much feedback from my clients that the work is really powerful. It's almost psychedelic at times. We go into places and spaces in the psyche that may have been hidden or pushed away or locked away for a long time. And that's the goal. It's this work of reclamation, of integrating the whole self, and it's it's having the experience itself that's the most important thing. It's not my goal in a session to bring it around to a place of victory or a place of resolution that feels like more organized or more enlightened. It's just having the experience itself is a step closer to knowing yourself and getting more in line with your desires, having more of that self agency, breaking old patterns, and being able to create new ways of being and understanding the world. I hope to continue sharing more and more wins. There is more coming out online. I'll be hosting more groups and classes coming out. Also, this integration with the Wiccan spirituality, my orientation of prayer and holding container is still very much a part of my practice. I'm really excited to use somatics to help lead others in facilitation and ceremonial work. So there's a lot coming out in 2025, and I'm really excited to share it all. This will be posted up on my YouTube too if you'd like to tune in later. And please DM or reach out if you have any other questions. Hope to see you all in the comments and the DMs and on future IG lives. Blessed be. Take care.